Phillies lose this one to the Washington Nationals 2-0. Welcome into Post Game Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Ben Davis, Ashlyn Sullivan here with you. While we'll talk about Taijuan Walker, who was excellent here this afternoon, this is really all about the offense going cold at the plate, losing 4 of their last 5 games. I mean, this is pretty alarming. In those 4 losses in 5 games, only scoring 3 runs in those losses.
Yeah, as I said in the crossover, this is 100% about the offense this afternoon, and the approach is what I have issues with. I didn't really see one. I know they hit a couple balls hard. I'll give them that. Trey Turner was really good again today, but overall, it's just not a great approach by the Phils this afternoon. And you're looking at it, it's been a tough road trip, especially the last 4 or 5 games. It has not gone well offensively for the Phillies, and they need to get back to just the basics. I think the basics and just staying up the middle, staying within themselves, not trying for the long ball. I think this is a collective effort right now. These guys are just trying to put it all on their own shoulders, and they're just trying too hard. That's what I'm seeing right now. A lot of anxious guys up there not realizing that, hey, I get 3 strikes for a reason. I don't have to swing at the pitcher's pitch. If he does throw me one that first pitch, I can take it. I still have 2 more strikes to work with. So I'd like to see him get back to that approach.
Right. I think a great example of that is when you look maybe at the 9th inning, you see JT Realmuto working through the count, a really great at-bat, gets on base, gets that double. And then you see Brandon Marsh and Harrison Bader, and it's those wasted opportunities that really get you frustrated.
Well, today he only threw it 16%.
And especially when you look at this is really the story of the game. Trey Turner, excellent, 3 for 4, doing his part, getting on base, trying to create opportunities. And there's everyone else here, Ben.
Yeah, it's a lot of offers in that lineup, and like I said, they have to figure something out, because they are putting entirely too much pressure on the starting rotation right now to stay perfect, to be perfect, knowing that, hey, I'm only going to get a couple runs of support here. I got to be perfect, and I think that's what's kind of getting to the starting pitchers, although Taijuan today, well done, young man. He was awesome, absolutely awesome today. Kept him in the ball game.
Right, and that's the pressure we talk about as we take a look here at the 5th inning. Taijuan Walker at this point.
These guys, their 2-strike approach was awesome. They were using the whole field. They were getting production from the bottom of the lineup. And case in point, last night, the only way they're scoring these runs is if they hit the home run. We saw the 3-run homer by Schwarber last night, followed up by a solo shot by Bryce Harper. But it seems like if they're not doing that, that's what they were able to do in Texas. It was manufacture runs. I remember one inning down there, Bryce Stott gets on with a single, and then he steals second base. Weston Wilson comes up and hits a single up the middle. Boom, they got a run just like that. So they're going to have to get back to that and just not rely on the home run all the time.
Absolutely. And we mentioned Taijuan Walker pitching well enough to get this win for the Phillies. It is our Eye on the Mound, presented by PGW. Energy for all of us. Walker's
going to have a 3.34 ERA. I said, all right, sign me up right now.
Right. It's so unexpected, really, because if you think about the conversation a year ago, no one of us would have guessed that this is the conversation we'd be having at this point, especially when you look at his season as a whole, but really his last 3 starts in August. This is what we talk about on a roll.
And 1.45 ERA? Are you kidding me? I mean, that's outstanding. 18 innings pitched. He really is. Starting pitcher's main objective every time he goes out there is to put his team in the best position to win. And that's exactly what he has done in recent starts. He's been awesome. Since moving back into the rotation on July 8th, he has been lights out for the Phillies and someone that can really, really depend on. So I tip my cap to him. Again, we've been very critical of him in a couple years past and last year especially, but he has righted the ship and he's throwing the heck out of the baseball.
Yes, he has, as the Phillies do lose this one 2-0 to the Washington Nationals. And a bit of a surprise here, President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski is speaking to the media now. We'll go to it live.
Dave, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. First of all, as you're aware, we're going to activate Aaron Nola tomorrow. He will start. And we will create a room on our 40-man roster tomorrow to replace him. We're going to place on the injured list today, effective today, Zack Wheeler. He has a right upper extremity blood clot. And that's why Paul's in here. He can talk a little bit more. There's not a lot we can say on it at this time. But I commend Paul and the doctors here to find this, because it could have been a much more trying situation than what it is. So Paul, I'm just going to let you
Zach had been feeling better after his right shoulder soreness. But yesterday some symptoms had changed. He felt a little heaviness. So the doctors here were great in helping to diagnose and expedite that diagnosis this morning.
So that was after the game last night that he felt that?
Do you think it was related to the initial shoulder stiffness?
It's hard to say, but I don't think so. Talking with our doctors, it's maybe independent. Again, there weren't these types of symptoms prior, so I do think they were independent.
What is the treatment for this type of blood clot?
Yeah, so there's a wide variety of treatments. I won't get into specifics. I'll leave that for the doctors.
He's going to be further evaluated back in Philadelphia, so there'll be more information going into the week.
What broadly might the timeline look like?
Again, further evaluation early next week, more testing. It's still early on in the diagnosis, so I think we should gather more information before we put a prognosis and treatment plan together.
Can you say the location of you said upper extremity?
Yeah, it's a right upper extremity.
So is that more like closer to the shoulder, closer to the elbow? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's surprising. A blood clot, it sounds like, in Zack Wheeler's right shoulder, and we knew that he was tired and having some trouble, thinking, oh, he'll be fine, come back right away, but this does not sound like something that would be quick. We're not doctors, but...
No. First and foremost, thank God they found
Yeah.
it, because obviously we know what that can lead to, but thankfully they were able to find it, and we can move on from here once they figure out a treatment process, the complete diagnosis, and go on from there. But thankfully they were able to find it. We kind of had an idea that something just wasn't right with Zack Wheeler. He just hasn't been himself in recent starts, and ever since that complete game outing against the Reds, he just has not been Zack Wheeler. And you kind of figure out something's got to be going on, and he said he's felt okay. So obviously they went in there and were able to find out. It's great to see that the doctors down in D.C. were able to figure out what's going on, and they'll try to figure out how to treat this and where we can go moving forward.
Yes, hopefully he is okay, that is for sure. And now let's go back to Washington, D.C., where Rob Thomson is standing by.
How would you assess what you saw from Taijuan today?
He was excellent. Fastball command was good. I know he walked a couple guys, but got a lot of soft contact. A lot of soft. The split was good. The cutter was good. Attacked the zone. Probably the best start of the year for him.
And what was the decision making with bringing Romano in there in the seventh?
Well, both our lefties, if we had to use one of them, they were down tomorrow. We're down 2-0. Ty was kind of gassed. I mean, it was hot out there. So Romano's been pretty good on lefties.
What did you see from Cavalli?
It's good fastball. It's good fastball. Breaking ball's really good. Mixed in some changeups, and he threw strikes. That's kind of at times been his bugaboo, but he's got good stuff.
Does the Zack situation just fold you back into a 5-man, or is that?
Yeah, for the time being, yeah. I mean, we're going to have a stretch later on. Like right now, we've got, because we're adding Nola tomorrow, everybody's sort of getting a extra day, and then we've got an off day. We're going to get another extra day. So we're in good shape, and that's why you have depth.
What's your reaction to, I guess, the news on Zack, and do you think, do you expect you will have him at some point?
We don't know. We don't know the timeline, and I'm thinking a lot about Zack and his family, because it's not a hamstring injury or something like that. So, but I feel good about the depth that we have. If we have to go to a 6, it could be Painter, it could be somebody else. But we've just got to carry on. People got to step up.
When did you hear about it?
After the game.
Just 22 years old, and I think it's somebody that the Phillies are going to have to worry about for a lot of years to come.
Absolutely. And we just mentioned the news about Zack Wheeler, a blood clot, what we believe is in his shoulder. We just heard that news from Dave Dombrowski. He will be placed on the injured list, the 15-day. And you have to wonder now, they were going to go to a 6-man rotation. We just figured this out, thinking, okay, this is going to be the plan going forward. But now you're left thinking, 1, you hope, of course, Zack Wheeler's okay. 2, you're thinking, now what?
Yeah, well, obviously Aaron Nola is going to be coming back tomorrow. He's going to replace him on the 26-man roster. And Zack, again, I'm just glad they were able to find this before something else drastic happened. And, he's got his father of 4, his great wife and family. And this is great that they were able to find this, because obviously this goes above and beyond just a game of baseball. And he's a wonderful human being, as Zack Wheeler. And fortunately they were able to find this. But, moving forward, we're having to see, this is a big person, big shoes to fill for the fighting Phils. And I know he hasn't been pitched great in his recent outings, but this is their guy. This is their horse that they've ridden for years. And hopefully they can get him back sooner.
Yeah, and you got to think, how was this impacting his performance. It's kind of tough now to judge those past couple of starts because of this news.
Yeah, I think maybe he just had some discomfort in there that he wasn't telling us about. Maybe it was something he was discussing with the trainers and getting treatment for. They just maybe just thought it was just stiffness because, hey, this guy's logged a lot of innings this year and over the years, and they were able to say maybe something else is in there. So again, glad they found it.
Yes, absolutely. Now let's go back to Washington and hear from Kyle Schwarber in the Phillies clubhouse.
What did you see from Cavalli?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't mind our bats. I think we hit the ball hard. I felt like that. We got him in some spots that we wanted to get to, and I mean, he's got great stuff. I don't think that's the issue, right? Like, I feel like his stuff was great. He's going to play really good, and I feel like he's going to be a really good arm for those guys as the future keeps going. But just today in general, I feel like it was one of those deals where we hit some balls hard, they caught him, and it is what it is. I was just kind of looking at some people. I go, how do we have so many hard hit baseballs and no runs right now? But yeah, just felt like he did a good job. He made some pitches when he needed to make some pitches. He got a big double play, and went from there.
You just heard the news about Zach. When did you all kind of learn about it? And just have you talked with him at all?
We heard some rumblings. Obviously we got the Philly up when he wasn't here, so made sure that shot him the text. Sounded like everything was, getting the test done and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a scary situation, right? Anytime that you hear anything visceral, right? Like if it's blood clot or anything like that, that's scary stuff. So just want to get him back in here and hear from him, and hopefully it's not going to be too serious. I don't know what the prognosis is going to be or what they're going to have to do. I don't know if it's surgery. I don't think anyone knows right now. I think he might be the only one who knows. But get him in here and get him healthy. That's the biggest thing. Baseball is baseball. We need when it comes to someone's health like that, we need him healthy first. And he's got a family, so we want to get him feeling good for them, and then get him up back to speed whenever we can.
We are back with Next Level, brought to you by Ocean Casino Resorts. You're looking at Nationals pitcher here, Cade Cavalli, who frankly just had the Phillies number this afternoon.
He was really good. 90 pitches, 63 of which were strikes. No walks for the young man, and he's got a big arm. And talk about someone else who's going to be a thorn in the Phillies' side for years to come. He was on top of his game today, seven innings. He was pretty efficient this afternoon.
He was. The Phillies couldn't do much at the plate there with Cade Cavalli, which brings us to our hit of the game, presented by Grungo Law. There wasn't many options for this. It was Trey Turner here. He definitely is. A great series so far for Trey Turner, as the Phillies do lose this one 2-0 to the Washington Nationals. And now let's go back to the Phillies clubhouse, checking in with Taijuan Walker on the loss and also his reaction to Zack Wheeler.
Overall, you don't like to lose, but you got to feel pretty good about what you were able to do today.
Yeah, I mean, just what I kind of been doing all year, just giving the team the best chance to win. I had an opportunity to get out of that one right there. Had an open base to Wood, and obviously he's a really good hitter, so I just got to get that split a little bit more off. If I walk in there, it's fine, open base, and try to get 8 runs, but just left it too much off the plate.
What was working for you today throughout the outing?
I thought everything, I was mixing everything, and they were being aggressive, so kind of just exposed that, and they were being aggressive in the second pitch, so I just kind of was able to jam them up a little bit and just throw stuff not in the zone and able to get weak contact.
Seems like the velo was down on a few of your pitches. Just anything you can pinpoint there?
Hot as crap today. Yeah, it was super hot today. One of those days like this, today is really just try to get out of there as soon as possible. Quick outs, quick innings and stuff.
We just talked about Zach, so obviously, everyone's thinking about that. And how much, have you had the chance to talk to him a little bit?
Yeah, I texted him a little bit this morning. Obviously, scary. This doesn't mean anything. So obviously we're praying for him. Trying to keep in contact with him, but I know he knows that we're all here for him and we love him. So, but yeah, it's definitely scary.